All right. So yeah, today we're going to focus on challenges to e-commerce business. Um, mm, Let me share my screen quickly. All right. Do you guys see my screen? Okay, cool. All right. So I haven't published this page, but I'll do it so that you can review it whenever you can. Um, so let's understand the challenges to e-commerce business, right? One of the first challenge you have is high competition. Think of this way. You're trying to start a business, no matter what you're trying to start, unless it's a really unique idea where nobody has entered, you're gonna have challenges, right? Um, the reason for that is, um, imagine back in the days when used to have big stores like Walmart, and things like that, right? Target. Um, how many people would think, okay, you know what? I'm gonna create another store like Walmart and compete with Walmart. Very few people who are too ambitious, right? But most of the people don't challenge it. Maybe they start a small box store and then hope that it would grow at a faster rate, right? But they would not imagine that, overnight they'll have a success, right? But in the space of e-commerce, where everything is available to you, you have a technology that you can easily access, um, uh, and you don't really have to spend a lot of money because it's not physical, right? You just have to think about, you know, uh, how are you gonna support the, demand and all that stuff, right? Yeah, there are technological challenges, but there are solutions to that as well. Okay. So um, the biggest challenge would be the competition because there are other stores, other e-commerce stores out there. They're selling the same thing that you want to sell. Let's say you want to sell hats. I bet there are like thousands of stores nowadays who are selling hats. Okay. So they are the competition. So when somebody searches on, hey, I want to buy custom hats, their ranking would show up first, right? And again, you can actually compete with them by spending more money on advertisement, so your ranking shows up, your website shows up and higher in the ranking and all that stuff, right? On Google. However, still it's a challenge. It's a challenge because the competition is constantly increasing. Another thing, let's say if you have a unique idea that you come up with, someone can easily steal the idea and then start their own business, right? With the same concept. So you're gonna have a challenge from the existing businesses, and you're gonna have a future challenges as well. Okay. So that is the thing. You're gonna have a high competition, right? Um, so what are the some strategy to mitigate that challenge? Any ideas? We can come up with something unique that we haven't thought about. What are the challenge? What are the some solutions to mitigate that challenge? Yes, you're gonna have high competition given. Someone can easily come up with what you already have, right? But how do you make sure that your business doesn't get impacted as much? All right, I'll give you one point. You have to constantly innovate, right? You have to make your things better. Just I'll give you an example. Yesterday, Instagram came up with a new feature. where let's say you build a reel, okay, just a short video, and in English, right? But uh, you can actually instantly convert that video into Spanish language. So it would look like you are speaking in Spanish in your own voice, and also with better lip syncing as well. So you have to make one video in English, but it can convert into, right now it's only Spanish, but future they'll open up for Chinese and other languages, right? So did they have to do this? Mm, is it going to make any difference? Yes. You have to be ahead of the game, right? So let's say somebody is on TikTok, and then they are not able to do that, and they're able to do that on Instagram. So they would say, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll move to Instagram, right? So they use Instagram more. So you have to constantly innovate and create better product, better experience, and all of that, right? Uh, so you can compete with you have to keep an eye on the competition first of all. I remember, who said that? Keep your friends closer, and keep your friends close, but your enemies closer, right? In a way, you have to keep your enemy here is the competition here, right? You have to have a keep eye on, and then understand what customer would need in advance, build that feature, and then um, another thing is, if you look at Apple, okay, Apple is competing against, you know, uh, Android, for example, and different phone makers, right? Um, there are Samsung, Motorola, and all other competition. So do you know how they um, they're able to compete? One of the things they do is secrecy. Okay, so what they do is this. Um, they do So let's say if there's a new iPhone coming out, right? I've iPhone 16, was it 16? Yeah, 16 just came out, right? Before it got released, but no one had any idea what's gonna be in the phone, what new feature is gonna be in the phone, right? So you don't give your competition idea of what you're building until you build it, right? So you will be, let's say, imagine if they announce it, okay, I'm gonna have some AI thing in my phone next release, right? Samsung can start working on it and can release AI things first before Apple does, right? So keeping keeping all your new features secret gives you that advantage. And also creates kind of a mystery. Everyone's kind of wondering, what they're going to release next, right? So it's a mystery, right? Um, any other product you think that deals with the competition very well? All right, I'll give you an example. Coca-Cola, how do you think they're competing with I mean, even though it's not e-commerce, but it's a product, so we can look at it. How do you think it's competing against other soda companies very well? A new flavor is one of them, but that's like new feature. Longevity. Yeah, longevity, you mean in terms of uh the the product. that doesn't get stale that fast, or is that what you
But
mean?
it's like it's been around for a very long time,
Uh,
and as compared to other products that have like come and gone.
yeah, I mean, longevity comes with, I think, wait, that is true that they are probably one of the longest running soda company in the world and one of the most powerful one, right? Um, but their secret sauce is their secret sauce. Nobody knows how Coca-Cola is made. Okay. Only handful of people. And even they exactly don't know how it works, right? So, because if you find out, they easily can replicate outside, right? So that's also, you need to keep the secret sauce secret so that nobody can replicate it also. Okay. So that's another way to deal with the competition. Anything else comes to their mind. And yeah, make it addictive. That's a good point, right? I think they add some sort of, I don't know, cocaine or something. Do you know they used to add I don't know, they used to add cocaine in the Coca-Cola? Do you know that? So the reason it's called Coca-Cola is because it was made with cocaine. Okay, and I'm not kidding you. So the way the story goes is it was built by some chemist, right? And coca leaves are these leaves that grows in South America. And then people in South America, they would just take the leaf and eat them, right? And it gives them some sort of high. Okay. And they're, active and, they have lots of energy and all that stuff, right? So uh, the what they've done is, and I think cocaine builds, I don't want to give you the formula of cocaine, obviously, but and I don't even know. But what's cocaine is actually extract of those leaves, a really concentration, right? So, you know, so what Coca-Cola did in early days is they extracted the chemical from the coca leaves and they put it in the Coca-Cola. Okay. So um, that the when they started when people started drinking, they had no idea. And I guess chemists didn't even know that it was addictive, but it was becoming addictive, right? Imagine you have cocaine inside your drink. Um, and then what happened is that um, and they were selling it as a headache cure to the headache or something. Okay, which was quite interesting. And government had no issue with that, them putting cocaine inside a drink. But then there were other drinks that are coming out with the similar, like Pepsi and all that, right? So the Coca-Cola sale was dropping. So what they did is the guy said, okay, what if we add alcohol to it? Okay. So then they started selling it as a Coca wine, something that has sugar, alcohol, and cocaine. Okay. Uh, and then government came back and said, hey, wait a minute. You can't put alcohol in this. Alcohol is regulated. So they didn't allow them. They had to stop Coke from adding alcohol in it. So later on, they figured out that cocaine is addictive and it can create it can have a problem, right? So Coke removed cocaine from it from the product. So, but you can see the you can see the innovation that goes in these kind of stuff, right? Um, uh, to really capture the market, you need to be ahead in the game. Release new products that people want, like new flavors, right? Constantly. Um, and if something doesn't work out, have to let it go because they do I think Taco Bell does the same thing. One of the things that Taco Bell does, which is very interesting. and which I hate. So they'll have like this uh, fries, right? I forgot what they call it. It's nacho fries, right? I think they're putting cocaine inside too. I don't know. They're damn addictive. Um, but they'll have it for 2 months and they'll take it off the shelf. Okay. And then people are like, oh, it's gone. So it creates this kind of a mystery around, you know, so they'll have the product and they'll take it off from the market and then reintroduce it. So people have this interest of going back to Taco Bell. Um, and then it creates this hype. Okay. So that's another way of dealing with this kind of thing. But yeah, there are so many different ideas that you can deal with it. Um, in these, you have to be really creative in this market. Okay. Any other ideas? Okay, cool. Um, I'll give you homework on these items so that you can come up with some interesting idea to deal with some of these stuff. Okay, let's look at another topic. A limited interaction with customer and products, right? So in a box store, you can, what people are buying because you can see them. You can see the shelf getting empty, things like that. If somebody would say, oh, people are not happy with this thing or that and all that stuff, right? Um, Compared to online products, you have no idea what's going on there, right? So, um, how do you know uh, that what people like and what people don't like, and people can say something about your product? How do you deal with it in e-commerce world? Any ideas? Okay, let's look at it. Customer reviews, yes. So you provide customer reviews, um, so that 5-star rating system, right? That's a one way of finding out how customer feel, right? And there's usually a box as well where you can type it in. People can, you know, went about, the product. Sometimes it can be negative, but at least you know what's going on, right? So, what else? You provide email address so they can email you their, you know, queries if they need it. You can have even chat function, right? Where if you're not happy with it, you can have a customer service, right? Like that. Now, obviously, you can have a phone number as well, but I think when you're starting a new business, you're not gonna have all the mechanism. Maybe reviews is probably one of the best one, right? Customer reviews probably the best one. Okay. Um, okay. The third item here is offer free sample if possible. Yeah, free samples. Yeah, that's a good idea. Um, you can offer goodies, right? To, you know, or, if you register, if you provide, you know, your feedback, you can get a free item or something, right? So you provide goodies, whether it's a free sample or some way to attract to increase the interaction, right? If you can, depend on the product. But yeah, cool. Shipping and fulfillment center. Um, this is something that is going to be a huge problem when you have your own store. So imagine you're selling hats, right? Remember last time we looked at the store you can build with, you know, selling custom hats, right? So let's say you're sitting at home and suddenly it says, "Oh, you need to deliver 500 hats to different people across the country." It's a good news because you're going to make a lot of money, but you have to still work hard to deliver the product, right? So what you have to do is you need to get boxes and you're going to put hats inside, seal it, you know, print the address, and then you have to go in your car and deliver, take all the boxes and go to UPS store or whatever, and then you drop it off, right? Um, it's a lot of work, right? To do that. Um, Next day, let's say you have 1,000 hats. Again, it's more good news, but it's, you know, it's a lot of work again. So you need to figure out how you're going to deliver. Maybe you can have a helping hand. So maybe you can say, okay, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little uh, warehouse somewhere in in the neighborhood, and then I'm going to rent it, and then I'm going to hire a few folks to just do this, right? And then the way I can do is maybe have some machines so that I can package it faster, and deliver it faster, right? Maybe I can have a huge truck that I can put all the boxes instead of making multiple round trips, right? So you have to obviously hire more people. Okay, that's good. What if you suddenly have an order of, I don't know, 100,000 hats? Okay, you cannot scale it. It's a really good news. If you have an order of 100,000 hats in a day, you have made it to the mainstream, right? But it's not sustainable with, even with a small warehouse. Then you need to find a real solution. So shipping and fulfillment at a scale. When I say yes, at a scale, which means, you know, 100 hats versus 1,000 hats versus 100,000 hats, right? Um, at its scale, you need to figure out best way to serve a customer, right? Um, so maybe you can, delegate that work out to some other company whose job is to simply, you know, print the hats and ship it for you. So you take the order and then give it to somebody and they do it. And then they charge you, but at least you're not you're not responsible for doing all that stuff, right? So there are ways to do this, but you need to figure this out. Any question on this one? Okay. The next one is the biggest one, reliance on technology. Um, so we talked about the shipping, right? But the key here is technology because it's an e-commerce store, which means you need to deal with a website, right? You need somebody to build it. You need somebody to maintain it because the issue can happen. So you need to fix it, right? How do you deal with that? All of that. That's a tricky situation. In Back in the days um, when you know you could actually have it one computer and then you can do this in your garage. You have a server. Server is basically you know when you uh, when you type a URL, it goes and hits that server somewhere located, right? And that's how the website is served. So you need that server. Now, Uh, if you have an electrical outage in your house, what happens? The server goes down, which means your website goes down, right? Which means customer cannot reach you and you lose business. So how do you deal with this kind of things, right? Um, you really need uh, some, you know, creative solutions to deal with it, right? Then came cloud, right? Cloud is basically they manage all the servers, they make sure that everything is running. Um, so you don't have to do anything, but you still have to configure things. You still have to build your own website. So you need to hire engineers who would do that, right? Um, but now you have something called Shopify. Anyone knows what a Shopify is?
I've heard of it.
Okay, let's take a look. We'll look at it in detail at some point, but okay. So Shopify, again, there are multiple solutions, but Shopify is um it's a it's basically, let's say I want to build a hat store. Okay. I need a website. I have no idea how to build this store. I don't have any servers. I don't know about cloud. I don't know about I the only thing I know is how I can build those hats, right? I know how to design the hat. I need to build a hat. I can deliver it, but I don't know nothing about technology. So you come here, right? And then you just say, you know, when I start my own business, right? Um, so this one, it will basically take care of everything. It has a um, all the tools. It will give you a URL, right? So your store name. Then it will give you some basic website. You just have to go and say, okay, what are you selling? So you upload a picture of what you're selling, right? You upload a price. Okay, this is how much I'm selling. You upload um, how many quantities do you have, right? So let's say, okay, I have 100 hats to sell because you want to put some restriction. Otherwise, what happens is that let's say you have 100 black hats and 100 blue hats and yellow hats, right? But then there is a demand for, let's say, red hats. So they are selling fast, right? So what you have to do is you have to put a number saying, okay, I have this many. Okay. So as people are buying it, it will subtract it. And so user can see how many hats you have, right? Um, hold on just a second. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so you can literally see uh your customer can see exactly, what's available, what's not, which sizes, everything. You have to configure a little bit, but that you can do as a business owner, right? Um, you can even create coupons. You can connect to a payments. So you let's say you create you know, I don't know, PayPal account and multiple other accounts, right? And then you connect that. So when you sell it, the money goes directly into your account. So everything is there. Even a marketing module, everything is there, right? So you can actually create a store in a day or two, which was not possible back in the days. Okay. Yeah, but we'll look at it later on when time comes. But yeah. So reliance on technology is is one of the big deal, right? Now, as your business grows, um, it's gonna cost you. If you use Shopify, it's gonna cost you. You know why? Because they'll take their cut because they're doing everything for you, which means I don't know how much they take, but they'll take a percentage of your profit. If you don't want that to happen, you have to build that all, yourself. How you do it, it's up to you, right? Um, and lastly, data security concerns. So you're gonna hold information, credit card information, and other stuff like the people's name, address, and all that stuff on your side, right? Because if you if you sell something, they're gonna put their address and everything on your side, right? Um, it's your responsibility as a owner of a business to protect the data because your customer put some trust in you, right? So, nowadays you hear these horrible stories about data breaches and hacking. A lot of countries do hacking nowadays and try to make money off of it. It's really unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but um, it happened. So you have to be prepared. So that's one of the biggest challenges. That's why I think if you use something like Shopify, obviously they have a team of engineers who are doing this, right? So you don't have to deal with it yourself. Uh, but even they can be hacked as well. But the chances are less compared to compared to you, right? You managing yourself. All right. So any question on that one? So these are the biggest challenges of e-commerce, right? Any question around this? All right. So uh okay, let me do one thing. Have we Okay, so we should start thinking about now our project, right? Because this is, hold on, let me see what we have done so far. Okay, so I would suggest, um, okay, let's do one thing. We'll have two things. One is I'll give you homework for today on on building uh, picking your business. Okay. Remember the last week we had an exercise on, you know, a homework on looking at different kind of businesses, right? Now it's time to actually pick our one business. Okay. You can change it, but at least you need to make a decision on picking something that you really like. Okay. Uh, and then doing some research on it, right? Which we learned last week. Some sort of um a research where you talk to you talk to your friends and family, see, get their opinion, positive, negative, and you adjust your business model around it, right? So let's say Give you an example. Let's say if you decide to sell hats, okay, a custom hat, not custom hats, but let's say you're gonna have, I don't know, different designs, pre-made designs that you give them options, and then you put it in the store, and people can just buy, from A, B, C, D, whatever, right? Um, Obviously, you have to constantly come up with new design. You provide different sizes and all that stuff, right? And then you go and present this idea to your friends and family. Say, hey, you know what? I have this assignment. I'm doing this, and this is the idea, this is my idea. What do you think? Do you think it would work? Some people might just simply say, oh, this is crazy. I don't think this will work. So, you just say, uh, I want your opinion on, on, you know, give me positive opinion, but don't say it's not gonna work. Okay. And if you do, you need to tell me what else can I do, right? So, you know, if it's a true friend or a family member, they'll give you they can give you a negative, but they'll give you also positive something, right? How about do this? This may not work. Uh, but if somebody say, you're not built for doing this, then they're not good friends. So, yeah, so you do your research, you do market research in certain in sense. Okay, who's providing these hats? Existing, exactly the same product. What can you do differently, right? What are the prices they're selling? Okay, so you build your model around it, right? So do these kind of things. Um, so that will be the homework, that you have to come up with a company, come up with the name, and then do some research on it. Okay. And as I said, you don't have to stick to it. You can change it later on. If you find that it's not something that you want to do, you can change it, right? But at least you have to go through this exercise for picking one up. And what's going to happen, whatever you pick or change or finally pick, right? You need to then, that would be your company, and then everything that we do would be around that company, for it to grow. Okay. Any questions?
And then do we upload it to Canvas or?
Yeah, yeah. It will be a textual. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, the way I usually like is I look at what I cover and then I'll put the homework. Because sometimes what happens if it's a predefined, then you cover X and then you have a homework on Y, so you have to change it. So I usually do right after the class, I put the homework. So this way it's easier. Okay. So you'll have I post the video that we did today. The material is already in there, which I'll publish, and then there'll be homework. Okay. Um, any anything else? Any other questions? All right. Cool. Yeah, that's it, folks. Yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.
thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.